A very good evening to you and a very warm welcome to TV47 Weekend Edition. Now tonight on To The Point, we will be talking about the myriad facets of loss, from the practical insights of dealing with grief now to the profound transformations that can emerge from loss. We will be having a conversation with our psychologist tonight, that is Dorothy Omolo, and our case study, Kenneth Gishuru, later on in the broadcast. But before we tell you all that we have in store for you in the world of news,
Tonight, relief for residents of the coastal region after experts predict that the dreaded Cyclone Hia has dissipated. The cyclone was expected to hit the East African coast hard this weekend, adding woe to the existing flooding situation in the country. 7 companies linked to top officials in the Governor Eric Mutai-led Kericho County government are on the spot of alleged embezzlement of public funds. And nurses' union threatens a new strike if the government will not adhere to their terms of service.
All right, welcome to this live broadcast coming live to you from our headquarters right here in Nairobi. My name is Ann Odida and our sign language interpreter tonight is Rhoda Nyamai. Let's get started. Now, 7 companies linked to top officials in the Governor Eric Mutai-led Kericho County government are on the spot of alleged embezzlement of public funds amounting to 39 million Kenyan shillings allegedly paid to undertake beautification works in the municipalities of Kericho and Litein in between November 2023 and April 2024. Moige William with the details.
Details are emerging that 7 private firms reportedly linked to the county secretary, county ministers, chief officers and municipality managers of Kericho County government and close associates to the county chief were allegedly involved in the embezzlement of public funds amounting to 39 million shillings, allegedly paid for irregular and fraudulent tenders given by the county government to undertake beautification works in Kericho and Litein. The companies on the spot reportedly include Glaki Limited, Young Focus Investment Limited, Citron General Works and Supplies Limited, Toboit Enterprises Limited, Eagles Rees Company Limited, Rihisa Enterprise Limited and Greatom Enterprise Limited. These companies had been allocated different areas of works spread across the 2 municipalities. The tender awarded to the firms was reportedly to be for the provision of services for meter drain cleaning and blocking drainages and bush clearing within an existing program called Equalizer Kazi kwa Vijana, which was rolled out by Kericho Governor Eric Mutai, that will engage youths in carrying out these works for paying different localities of Kericho County, where a cumulative total of 39 million was paid out between November 2023 and April 2024. Earlier, a petition was presented to the Kericho County government of allegation that youth engaged in the project were either underpaid or unpaid altogether. It is further alleged that the hired firms were not pre-qualified for the works during the current financial year and the activity was not budgeted for and reportedly also not within the approved annual procurement plan, contrary to the law. Some of the companies paid for these works did not complete these works and in some cases the works was not done at all even after payment. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has commenced investigations into the matter, with appropriate action to be undertaken once the task is complete. The focus on Kericho comes in the wake of intensified watch over counties by EACC, with the most recent arrest being that of former Murang'a Governor Mai Mahiu and his family members, including his wife and the former governor and current governors of Marsabit County, of allegations of graft. Moige William, TV47.
All right, now the tropical cyclone Hia, which was initially predicted to hit the Kenyan coast over the weekend, has weakened and dissipated. This is according to the Kenya Meteorological Department. However, area leaders and marine experts remain on high alert over the potential effects of Cyclone Hia. Forecasts show that the rains will persist in 37 counties across the country. George Maringa has that report.
It was to be a weekend like no other, especially at the coast, as for the first time a cyclone had been predicted to strike. The warm sandy beaches would turn into a scene never seen before.
Kwamba hakuna mtu ataenda kwa beach, hakuna hiyo mambo ya kujenga, hakuna mambo ya ya watu wa kutafuta samaki kwenda kwa bahari. Kwa huyu muda kidogo waongoje mpaka tujue hali ya anga iko namna gani, na ndio tuambie baada nafikiri mpaka midnight Monday waweze kurudi huko, waweze kutafuta ile shughuli yao ile blue economy walikuwa wanafanya.
But in a different twist of events, Kenya did not witness the dire effects of the cyclone Hidaya. The Kenya Meteorological Department on X said it is monitoring developments off the Tanzanian coast following Cyclone Hidaya's landfall in the neighboring country. KMD further stated that heavy rains will continue along the coastal region due to the cyclone. The Met Department further said, and I quote, "The tropical cyclone Hidaya storm is over and forecasted to have weakened. However, heavy rainfall is still expected offshore along the coast region, with strong winds and large waves already experienced in Kwale." However, the cyclone left a trail of destruction in Mafia Island, which is located about 130 kilometers southeast of Dar es Salaam. But why the name Hidaya? According to the World Meteorological Organization, the naming procedures can vary, with some regions using alphabetical order and others using the alphabetical order of country names. It is important to note that tropical cyclones are not named after individuals. The process of determining names for tropical cyclones is conducted by the relevant tropical cyclone regional body at its annual or biennial session. The selection of names is based on their familiarity to the people in each region, aiming to aid in the understanding and remembrance of cyclones. When selecting a new name, consideration is given to certain factors such as short in character length for ease of use in communication, easy to pronounce, appropriate significance in different languages, as well as uniqueness, that is, same names cannot be used in other regions. Tropical cyclones are a dangerous natural hazard and occur around the world. Naming tropical cyclones has proven to be the fastest way to communicate warnings and raise public awareness and preparedness. Assigning names to tropical cyclones makes tracking and discussing specific storms more straightforward, especially when multiple storms are active simultaneously. KMD has warned coastal residents, especially those involved in marine activities, to take caution to avoid adverse effects of the cyclone as the region braces for heavy rains from Sunday through to Tuesday. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you so much, George Maringa, for that detailed report on Cyclone Hidaya. Now, at least 228,000 people in the country have been directly affected by the floods in the country. Businesses, homes and roads have been swept away as Kenyans continue looking for a way to survive the overwhelming waters. For the 160,000 or so whose houses have had to be demolished because they were on riparian land, their lives have been irreversibly changed. All this comes as rainfall is set to continue and even increase in some places. Our reporter Kisawa Emery with greater details on the ongoing crisis.
Irreversible damage has been caused to hundreds of thousands as the floods continue to ravage the country. According to the government, 228 people have passed away, 9 in the past 24 hours alone as a result of the floods, with 52 of that number coming from the Mai Mahiu tragedy.
We do mourn the loss of 9 lives in the past 24 hours, and that includes 7 adults and 2 children, bringing the total floods-related toll to 228 across the country.
The government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura says that those people who have been evacuated from riparian land will not be allowed to resettle even after the rainy season ends.
We will act, and the government is not going to backtrack on this one. We will not allow people to go back to the riparian areas because we must also ensure that we restore our rivers and to avoid this kind of deaths.
This comes even as demolitions continue following a 24-hour ultimatum set by the president. Kenyans have also been warned to be cautious over the water they drink, with one case of the highly contagious cholera already reported by the government. This at a time when doctors are on strike.
Borehole water is now contaminated. Those who are using borehole water, the water is yellowish in color because the aquifer is yellowish brownish because the aquifer is saturated. So we need to take very serious caution. If you are a borehole operator, if you're using borehole water, take extra precaution.
Tourism has also been affected, but the government spokesperson points out that tourists should ignore travel advisories, cautioning them against visiting the country, adding that Kenya remains safe for tourism.
The state says that it has pledged between 3.3 to 4 billion in flood disaster management. But even as they say so, the looming threat of waterborne diseases remains, with the country set to grapple with long rains for the rest of the month. Kisawa Emory reporting for TV47 at Nyayo House, Nairobi.
Thank you, Emory. Now, the Kenya Meteorological Department warned of continued heavy rains throughout May, particularly affecting Nairobi, the coastal region, Rift Valley, Central, and parts of Nyanza. This leading to the government echoing the urgency for people residing in riparian corridors and other water courses to vacate immediately to prevent disaster, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
The excessive rainfall that the country continues to receive has led to river and sewer overflow, transforming roads into waterways and causing great havoc in different parts of the country. In Baringo South, Longewan village has become the latest victim of the raging floods after it was marooned after heavy rains caused the Pekera and Molo rivers to burst their banks, displacing dozens of families.
In bridge yenye mnaona hapa ni bridge ambayo ilikuwa barabara, lakini sasa hiyo barabara imekatwa off na River Molo, ndio imekuwa imevunja kingo na ndio imezuia watu kufika pande hii.
The flood waters have also wreaked havoc on surrounding villages, including Ilbulei, Ipukanyaki, Leswo, Rine, Morda, and parts of Loropil. Acres of maize plantations have been submerged, causing significant agricultural losses.
Maji imeingia saa 7, saa 8, saa 9, maji yakaanza kufungua. Sisi zikatoka nje, sisi kaenda kuvuka barabara. Maji karibu na beba watu tu.
A joint rescue mission is currently underway with teams from the Red Cross, the county government, and the national government working together to evacuate stranded residents. A Red Cross estimate suggests that over 500 people have been affected by the floods.
The exercise will continue, especially ensuring that no one is left behind, who will be at risk, of course, for these challenges of flash floods. We're also calling upon the public to really take precaution measures in regards to the current advisories for anyone who is at risk, anyone who is in risk areas, to ensure that they vacate or maybe evacuate to safer grounds.
Elsewhere, Archbishop Martin Kivova of Mombasa Catholic Church urged the government to consider the construction of large dams to avert the recurring floods that have led to the death of more than 200 people.
Serikali yetu inaweza kupata maarifa na wengi, ambapo maji kama haya unaweza kuweka mabwawa ambayo yanaweza kushikilia maji yale yatumike kwa irrigation, kwa sababu it's a big waste. Japo kuna mafuriko, baada ya muda mfupi maji haya yakisha, tutakuwa tena ukame umerudi tena.
In Isiolo County, over 1,200 households in Merti area have been displaced by floodwaters following a heavy downpour in the upper regions that has caused the Ewasonyiro River to break its banks.
Wananchi wamepoteza mali mingi sana, manyumba imeharibika, mimea yote imeharibika. Sababu tumepatiwa data ya watu 1200 ambao wameathirika na Red Cross na sub county steering committee ambayo iko hapa. So tumetumana chakula inakuja, tumetumana neti inakuja.
According to Haj Mohammed, an elder and businessman in Merti town, the floods have wreaked havoc in the entire Merti sub-county, cutting off movement of people and goods in and out of Merti town amid concerns that the area could soon run out of food supplies if the rains do not subside.
Majumba hakuna. Ile jumba iko hai kama jumba kama hii. Angalia bande hii. Bande ile imesingirwa, haba amesingirwa.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Hapa ndio kwako mama. Hapa ndio umehamia eh?
Relocation and settlement of Mai Mahiu floods tragedy victims in Nakuru County kicked off today, with those that were in rented apartments getting other rental units paid for by the state, and for landlords moved to a children's shelter awaiting government's pledge on reconstruction of their premises. The exercise comes to a close Monday, as our reporter Willie Dennis now tells us.
Aid continues to trickle in at Ngea Girls Secondary School with frantic efforts by all to restore order. Kenyans of all walks of life donating from food and non-food items aside government support. President William Ruto's visit here decreed the resettlement of all families that took effect today, with 55 families that were on rentals moved to Mai Mahiu town by midday Sunday.
President alikuja hapa na akatuambia kwamba we start resettling these people. Na jana tumeanza shughuli kwa wale ambao walikuwa wamekodisha. Jana tumeanza kukodisha watu 52 ambao tumerudisha kwao. Ile jambo tulikuwa tunafanya, tunawapatia rent ya miezi 3 na angalau tunapatia token kidogo, tunapatia chakula ambayo inaweza kuwatosha kwa hiyo muda kabla maisha yaweze kurudi ilivyo.
65 landlords were moved to a children's shelter even as feasibility study awaits to ascertain suitability of fresh construction or relocation.
Wakati president amekuwa hapa ametangaza ya kwamba wale walio na mashamba iangaliwe kwanza kama wanaweza rudishwa hapa, kama hawatakuwa kuweza kurudishwa hapo ni ya kwamba waweze kutafutiwa mahali badala ambao wanaweza jengwa nyumba zao.
As the school reopening date remains scanty, classes here are overwhelmed with donations with request to segregate a few classes as temporary holding points.
It was the highest chance even for us to give back, because we totally know what it means to lack and to start over again. So being an IDP for over 10 years, I recruited a few of my friends and we came over and we have donated so much, as you can see. Tumeweza kuwaletea maunga, pia tumeweza kuwaletea nguo na kuwafariji mioyo zao.
Tumeweza kuongea na usimamizi wa shule hii, watubakisia hata kama ni madarasa mawili ambapo tunaweza kuweka chakula kwa sababu chakula ni kingi.
We paid a visit to Mzee John Mwangi, who was worst hit by the tragedy, losing 8 of his children. The family resides in the government procured 5 rental units.
Nashukuru sababu wamepatia watoto wetu nyumba. Wamefanya kazi ya kututafutia hata wenye walikuwa wamepotea, tumewapata leo. Tunasema asante sana. Kitu yenye tunaweza sema tena,
watoto wangu waliaga. Na sasa juu ya hiyo mtu wote, ile kitu kwa kazi ya muhimu sana. Kama ningepata pahali ya kujenga, ningefurahi sana.
This sufuria is the only available kitchenware to serve in multiple chores, as agony and grief excruciates their hearts on the departed family souls.
Yenye tumekombolewa hii nyumba, kuna kitu moja hatuna masufuria. Wametupea chakula, mattress, blanketi, but hatuna sufuria, hatuna miko, hatuna masahani. Sasa ni kuomba. Mwenyewe aliniambia nirudishe, atusaidie tu kidogo, tupeleke mili watoto wetu nyumbani, tukawazike huko. Tunataka in case tutapata usaidizi, tutafurahia sana. Sababu tungetaka waende wazikwe mahali pamoja kwa shamba ya baba yetu.
The family is yet to benefit from clothes donations amid government procedures in capturing data to affected families, with calls to aid all needy cases.
What we are appealing to the government right now, wale watu ambao wanatoka kwa rescue center wawe na access ya kuaccess zile chakula ambazo zimeletwa na watu wa goodwill, zile nguo ambazo zimeletwa, pia kukuwe na constant supply ati kuna vile wanaweza kuchukua zile vitu.
This comes as the KDF and NYS continue with their search operations, with over 30 persons still reported missing.
Ni vizuri kuwafahamisha kwamba bado kuna familia kama 32 ambao bado wanasema hawajajua wapendwa wao mahali walipo. So diposa jeshi wako kule chini waweza kuangalia kama kweli kabisa kuna mili inaweza kuwa imebaki.
Familia kama hizi tusimame nazo, na leo tumeona kulikuwa na changamoto, kuna watu ambao wanajiandikisha na hawajashikwa na hii janga. So we are appealing to the Kenyans in Mai Mahiu, Naivasha constituency, please, if you are not been affected by this calamity, please don't go and register yourself in the facility.
As the government takes the initiative to relocate the affected families to flats such as this one, it is taken into consideration that further in this week, probably Thursday, there will be a requiem mass around this place, a date that is yet to be confirmed. Reporting for TV47 from Mai Mahiu, Naivasha in Nakuru County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
Thank you, Willie Dennis Njiri, for that report. We hope that they will be able to recollect and just be happy once again. Now, we are taking a very fast short break at this point. Of course, so much more lined up for you on the other side of this break.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus niko niwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style you're going for.
To finishing touches, witness the dedication of the hard-working teams who bring these ambitious dreams to reality. The Realtor, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You are watching TV47 Weekend Edition. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the Kenya National Union of Nurses has threatened to join the doctors' strike that has gripped the nation for over 7 weeks if the government will not adhere to their terms of service. Natasha Wairime reports.
Following the 54-day doctors' strike that has paralyzed the health sector in the country, the situation promises to get worse, with the Kenya National Union of Nurses threatening to go on strike as well.
I am not a liar. We are ready to walk this journey. We are ready to go on strike. We will not allow the government to generate a system of lying, making our leadership to lie to our members.
With the bone of contention being the posting of interns and the uncertainty of the universal healthcare staff pensionable schemes, the union now blaming the government, Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors Health Committee for spreading a false narrative on the actual situation.
I want to call upon the government that before they call other parties and the unions to obey the court orders, to respect the courts, they must, in this case of the interns, obey the court order.
This comes 2 days after the KMPDU officers stormed out of a meeting that was led by the head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, the government comprising of Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha, Cabinet Secretary Ministry of Labour Florence Bora, Council of Governors Whip, and the Council's Health Committee Chairperson Muthomi Njuki, where a formula was proposed and 17 out of 19 contentious issues resolved. However, both parties failed to find common ground on the remaining 2 points. Now, the nurses want the Treasury to come clean on the budget that was allocated to the health sector.
4.2 billion that is available can go almost 6 months. And that's why the Treasury had said it will provide 3.5 billion to complete. So why will somebody wants to say we are continuing 2 years? Because they know the Nurses Union has told the members that the government has agreed to absorb you.
The prolonged healthcare crisis that has gripped the nation continues to be a burden to Kenyans who are seeking healthcare services. The High Court in Kenya has issued a directive to both the government and striking doctors to sign a return-to-work formula that will be adopted by the court. Natasha Wairimu, TV47.
Now, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mung'aro was on Sunday forced to change his mind on his threat to remove and transport bodies of Shakahola victims being preserved at the Malindi Sub-County Hospital mortuary to Nairobi. During a public function in Magarini constituency Thursday, which was also graced by Gender and Affirmative Action Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa and government spokesperson Isaac Moura, the governor had given the national government up to Monday to remove the bodies, failure to which his officers would tow the containers to Nairobi. Mr. Mung'aro complained that the county government was incurring huge electricity charges due to power connected to the containers and that the bodies were emitting foul smell that were reaching even wards he had recently renovated and equipped.
But what I'm saying, I visited today the facility here at Malindi where the bodies of Shakahola are stored, and also the bodies of our morgue. And we have had a meeting with the team on the ground headed by the director here, homicide. And we have a way forward. At least we know now that they have started collecting bodies. One problem has been solved is there's no smell. There's a bit of smell on the other side of the morgue. But this other side, there's no smell. We have agreed that they will now fast track on releasing bodies whenever they have the reagents and then and the DNA, so that we can clear this issue as quickly as possible, so we can go back to normalcy. The rest too will not be identified. I think already the CS Kindiki have gazetted a section of Shakahola. There will be a monument. Maybe when that time comes, they will probably have a way forward on probably listing up the people and putting names there and become a museum.
Now, amidst the ongoing devastation caused by floods across the nation, Homa Bay County is facing a new crisis as worries about the safety of girl children rise. Experts believe these children are more susceptible to sexual exploitation because of the camp's diverse population, which includes people from a range of backgrounds and personalities.
In the camps of Rachonyo North Sub-County, we meet Irene, Becky and Saida, not their real names, who complain about how some males have tried to entice them to the camp.
Ingine tunapitia tukiwa hapa kwa camp, kuna vijana ama wababa tu wenye pia wanatukatia, wanatutaka by force. Hasa chenye tunaweza omba saizi, watu wache tu saizi tusome na wafocus kwa life yao. Sisi bado ni wadogo na tunafaa kusoma by now. Sasa tunaomba tu kwa upole mtusaidie na mtu wache kwa amani.
Hai tumeishi hapa kwa camp. Kuna wenye wababu wenye wameishi hapa wanatusumbua. Wanataka tukae na wao kwa mapenzi. Na sisi bado tunataka kusoma. Sasa tunaomba usaidizi.
Tusaidie, kuna wababa wanatusumbua huku penye tumeishi na maji lituharibu nyumba. Sasa tungeomba mtusaidie watu wache.
During a mentorship program for the girls camping at Osodo Primary School, Sophie Otieno, a representative of a community-based organization in Wangching Ward, observed that the girls are indeed susceptible to early pregnancies and HIV infections that has been rampant in the region in the name of offering shelter to them.
Here we have those who can get pregnant, those who can be infected by HIV infections, because those who are going around luring them, There are those who are ready to offer them shelter, those who are ready to offer them money. Also, these girls, they'll easily accept these people because they are at risk and they have no solution and they don't know how to make the right decision as at now because of their age. And I would encourage those who are outside there, treat this young girl as your daughter. When you see this young girl who has been affected, don't take advantage of this girl because he's going under a problem.
On her side, Cheryl Simba urged the government and other organizations to come together in support of the girl child, considering even their menstrual hygiene, especially in these tough and uncertain times.
We ensure that our girls have access to menstrual hygiene products and accessories so that they are able to take care of their menstrual hygiene. So basically, I would like to call upon people and stakeholders, to be specific, of Wangching Ward and the country at large to help our girls so that we may curb this situation here because it's getting worse. And as an organization, we can't deal with it as one organization. So we call upon more and more stakeholders to help with that.
Brian Odhiambo, TV47, Homa Bay.
Moving on, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has told political leaders to concentrate on service delivery and desist from spreading propaganda and idle talk. The second in command also called political leaders from Kiambu County to tone down on high-octane politics and leadership wrangles and focus on working for the people. Nina Monica has more details.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was in Kiambu County for a church service at SEK St. Mark's New Committee Parish in Kiambu Town. It is here that he aired his concerns over leadership wrangles witnessed in Kiambu County amid heightened political debate and activities across the political divide over the 2027 elections and declarations of political ambition.
I learned great lessons in this great county of Kiambu. So it pains me a lot when I see our leaders tearing each other. It pains me.
Rigathi urged leaders to focus on social and economic development issues of their areas and the nation instead of engaging in endless politicking, saying that he will call for another meeting with all the leaders and tackle their differences at the grassroots level.
Let all leaders focus on service delivery. That is what Kenyans expect from us. I want once more, I called the governor, I called the MPs, I called the MCAs, and I tried to put them together so that we have peace and we have development in this county.
On the flooding situation in the country, the second in command reiterated his call on Kenyans to stop daring nature by crossing swollen rivers and living near spilling dams.
Wale wako katika karibu na dams, Karemeno na pahali kwingine, please, those dams are full and they are potentially dangerous. Move to a more safer neighborhood. But we have told our officers, those who are in danger na wanakataa kusonga, wale kichwa ngumu, tutawasongesha. Kwa sababu serikali iko na jukumu la kuchunga maisha na mali.
Rigathi Gachagua also announced that tomorrow he will convene the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council (IBEC), where issues related to the flooding situation and multi-agency response will take center stage.
Tomorrow I have IBEC, Governor Wamatangi and all other governors, we want you to come. Tukubaliane. Ile county ambaye imelemewa na mafuriko, we tupeane priority of disbursement of funds for emergency to you.
Nina Monica for TV47, Nairobi.
That story by Nina Monica is taking us to another short commercial break. We are coming back with more. Don't touch that dial.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style you're going for.
To finishing touches, witness the dedication of the hard-working teams who bring these ambitious dreams to reality. The Realtor, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back. Now, a section of community leaders in Bungoma County believe that cultural male circumcision among Sabaot, Bukusu, Batura and Tachoni communities in Bungoma County greatly contributes to the increase in cases of early pregnancy and even sexual violence. For the past 5 years, more than 12,000 teen mothers were reported, and as the circumcision season approaches in August, various stakeholders have looked into the issue to ensure that the girl child is protected.
This is the situation every August of every second year during the ceremony for the circumcision of young men from Bukusu, Sabaoti, Batura and Tachon communities. And as the season approaches, a great concern has been raised regarding the safety of girls. Bungoma County Adolescent Sexual Reproductive Health Coordinator Millicent Kiplai says that in the last 5 years, 12,000 teen mothers cases were recorded.
In 2018, we had over 22,000 pregnancies. But last year, 2023, we had slightly above 12,000 pregnancies among our teenage girls.
These sentiments were shared during the Fawe Organization's workshop, which brought together stakeholders from different departments in Bungoma County to forge ways of how to return teen mothers to school.
We want to adhere to the government's directive of 100% transition.
However much the numbers, but these children still have their rights and they need to continue with their education, because an incomplete child cannot make a full potential adult.
We are saying that pregnancy will not be seen as a condemnation to a girl child.
The elders of these communities have not been left behind, as they are an important pillar in the implementation of culture. Richard Walukano is the chairman of the Council of Elders of Bukusu.
Tumeanza mapema ili tuweze kuhamasisha watu wetu kwamba mimba ya mapema inaharibu watoto wetu wasichana. Na hii inatokana kwa sababu ya mambo tofauti wakati wa kupeana hii tohara.
They have asked the parents to be responsible and protect the girls, urging security agencies to take legal action against those who will be using perverted songs during circumcision celebrations to urge the young men towards sexual deviance.
Wanatunga nyimbo ambazo ni samatusi, nyimbo ambazo hasileti watu pamoja, nyimbo ambazo zina encourage vijana waanze kufanya mambo ambayo hawastahili kufanya wakati kama huu.
Kimila yetu ilikuwa naimba nyimbo za kusifu.
Diwa Chemoset, an elder for Sabaoti community from Mount Elgon constituency, He has pointed out that if ambitious strategies are not put in place, the practice of female genital mutilation may take root, especially those who live near the Ugandan border.
Msichana yetu kutoka Mount Elgon wanaweza kwenda Uganda kama mchezo tu, na unajua msichana kutairiwa inachukua tu muda mfupi